Thomas Jeffrey Hanks was born in Concord, California on July 9th, 1956 to Amos and Janet Hanks. Hanks has 4 children. He is also married to actress Rita Wilson since 1988. What a good-looking couple they are. Hanks studied theater at Chabot College in Hayward, California, and transferred to California State University of Sacramento after 2 years. In 1979, Hanks moved to New York City, where he made his first film debut in the low-budget slasher, He Knows You're Alone, and landed the starring role in the television movie Mazes and Munsters. The following year, Hanks landed one of the lead roles, the character of Kip Wilson on ABC's television pilot, Bosom Buddies. He and Peter Scolari played a pair of young advertising men forced to dress as women so they could live in an inexpensive all-female hotel. Hanks had previously partnered with Scolari on the 1970 game show Make Me Laugh. Tom Hanks had a guest appearance on the 1982 episode of Happy Days, A Case of Revenge, in which he played a disgruntled former classmate of Fonzie. I'm going to have to look this up, but I think Fonzie always claimed he dropped out of school at like age 6. Ron Howard contacted Hanks. Howard was working on the film Splash, 1984, a romantic comedy fantasy about a mermaid who falls in love with a human. At first, Howard considered Hanks for the role of the main character, wisecracking brother, a role that eventually went to John Candy instead. Hanks landed the lead role in Splash, which became a surprise box office hit, grossing more than $69 million in the United States. He also had a sizable hit with the sex comedy Bachelor Party, also in 1984. In 1983-84, Hanks made 3 guest appearances on Family Ties as Elise Keaton's alcoholic brother, Ned Donnelly. Now, Ned was a little different than Elise. Elise was a flower child from the 60s, and Ned was more of a financial guy, more like Alex Keaton. That's why Alex looked up to his uncle Ned. In 1986, he made Nothing in Common with Jackie Gleason. Hanks began to extend himself as comedic roles to dramatic roles. In a review with Rolling Stone magazine, Hanks commented on his experience. It changed my desire about working on movies. Part of it was the nature of the material, what we were trying to say, but besides that, it focused on people's relationships. The stories of a guy and his father, say The Money Pit, where the story is about a guy and his house. The broad success of fantasy comedy Big established Hank as a major Hollywood talent, both in the box office draw with the industry and as an actor. For his performance in the film, Hanks earned a nomination for the Academy Awards Best Actor. Love Big. Big's it's an underrated movie and it's a fun movie. He followed up Big with the movie Punchline, which stars him and Sally Field as struggling comedians. Hanks then suffered a run of box office underperformers, The Burbs, Joe vs. Volcanoes, and Bonfire of the Vanities. I know a lot of people that like The Burbs and Joe vs. Volcano. I gotta say, if I had one movie I don't like from Tom Hanks, it's Joe vs. Volcano. He's climbed back to the top again with his portrayal of washed-up baseball legend turned manager Jimmy Dugan in A League of Their Own. Great movie, fantastic movie, and he does a fantastic job. The modern era began in 1993 for Hanks with Sleepless in Seattle and then Philadelphia. The former was a blockbuster success about a widower who finds true love over the radio airwaves. In Philadelphia, he played a gay lawyer with AIDS who sued for discrimination. Hanks lost 35 pounds and thinned his hair in order to appear sickly for the role. Tom Hanks won his first Academy Award for the film Philadelphia for Best Actor. I also thought Denzel Washington should have got something. He was also amazing in that movie. Hanks followed Philadelphia with a 1994 hit, Forrest Gump, which grossed a worldwide total of $600 million at the box office. Hanks won his second Best Actor Academy Award for his role as Forrest Gump, becoming only the second actor to accomplish the feat of winning consecutive Best Actor Oscars. Spencer Tracy was the first, winning in 1937-38. Hanks then went on to film Apollo 13, where he played Jim Lovell, a 1995 film with Ron Howard. Now, this film is just amazing, has an amazing cast. You have Kevin Bacon, the late Bill Paxton, Gary Sinise, Ed Harris, Kathleen Quinlan. It's just an amazing movie, and it's a great movie. It's a fantastic movie. If you haven't seen it, take the time to watch it. Also in 1995, he starred in Disney's Pixar's CGI animated film Toy Story as the voice of Sheriff Woody. Tom Hanks made his directing debut in 1996 with the movie That Thing You Do. Now, I can tell you right now, That Thing You Do is my favorite Tom Hanks movie of all time. I know what you're thinking. The long list of movies he's done, that's your favorite movie? I never get tired of watching it. I couldn't tell you how many times I've seen it. I love it from start to finish. It's just a great movie, has a great pace. Tom Hanks then executive produced, co-wrote, co-directed the HBO docudrama From Earth to the Moon, a 12-part series that chronicled the space program from its inception through the familiar flights of Neil Armstrong and Jim Lovell. Tom Hanks' next project, teaming up with Steven Spielberg, was Saving Private Ryan. I saw Saving Private Ryan in the theater. My first reaction was one that many had. My God, this movie is so stressful, so graphic. Because it was so well done, I couldn't help but feel for the soldiers that actually had to go through with that, the ones that stormed Normandy, what they went through, the ones that died, and especially the ones that survived. To this day, what they did was just an amazing, amazing thing. In 2001, Hanks helped direct and produce the Emmy Award-winning miniseries on HBO, Band of Brothers. And I'm going to tell you right now, Band of Brothers is hands down the best miniseries of all time. In 2000, Tom Hanks made the movie Castaway. Now, Tom Hanks really showed his acting chops in this movie because it was just him and a volleyball he named Wilson that had a blood-stained hand as a face. And you start believing, because Tom Hanks is so brilliant, that Wilson is real. But Tom Hanks does such an incredible job that you actually feel bad that Wilson is going away from Tom Hanks. It's just fantastic job by Tom Hanks. What a great actor. Tom Hanks is an amazing actor. He's had an amazing career, which is still going strong. But overall, he's a great person. I've never heard anyone ever say anything nasty about Tom Hanks. He just seems like a genuinely nice guy. Some guy you'd want to have a beer with, which makes Tom Hanks an American treasure. Thanks, Tom Hanks, for all you've done.